Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials or any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
Yeah, so we discussed about the Spring Core module yesterday. So that is how the dependency injection will happen and means how will you do it and what are all the object-oriented principles we have. All these things we have discussed in the previous session. So like today we'll make one application. So that is by using all those layers or by working on our code. So that is, I have already one developed application which is on simple Java. It is a Java standalone application. It's a simple application. There is a one application called Player app, which have here, yeah, it's connected with some Oracle database. Okay, so and here it is different layers like multi-tier architecture, but it is a standalone application. Here have some different details to get it, which is get play by ID, play by name, gender. So all these details, and it's a menu driven application. So we have it, we have a switch programming, like switch cases are there. And once we are closing, so that sc.close, the scanner, which I'm closing here. What happened? Yeah, sc.close, I made it here. So that is our application is working properly as with a normal Java project. As it is a normal Java project, it's have a one menu driven, which is a main method, and we have one database connection, which is dbutil. That is the database connection is established here. And then we have exception handling, and we have one model class, which is player, like the Pojo. And then we have a DAO interface, which have all the methods which is required. And then the database implementation. Basically, here we are using a JDBC, the Java database connectivity, which we have written here the code. And then we have a service, which is or the Bevo layer. In the Bevo, we have all our methods. And then in the Bevo implementation, we are creating the objects for the player DAO implementation because the BO layer will be interacted with the DAO layer. Then in the main method, so we created all the objects. We created all the objects here. That is for the yeah player BO implementation, the object should be created. So it should be object should be created only one time so that we can write it before the do loop so that it will be executed only once. So this is what my application. So that is when I just run it as it is a standalone application in the console, it will be running. In case some database connectivity or invalid username password. 1 second. So I'll just check what is the database. I have. So here it's a simple Java application. It's developed with multi-tier architecture. So where we want to convert this into the Spring application. So as basically the Spring core, as we discussed yesterday, so it will provide the dependency injection. So that is, we should not create the objects for objects. The Spring should provide the objects. The Spring should create the objects for us and give it to us, right? So what we'll do it here, so we'll create a,
Hi Shweta, can you wait for a minute? Kavya said she'll try joining, but she's not able to hear
yeah,
still.
sure, sure. Okay. Within the time, I'll also check my database. Kavya, am I audible, Kavya?
Yeah, I don't know what was the issue.
Okay. So it's a one simple Java standalone application, which is having all the multi-tier, multi-layers, which is we have a BO implementation, that is business logic is written here, and have a DO, which I used for some other training. So that's why the package name is different. Then here the DO implementation, which basically give the JDBC code. And then to take in care of our business exception, so I have here one a business, my custom exception. And to establish a connection between the database and application, so we have here the database util, which is to establish a connection. And then here the main method is there, and we have a one Pojo layer, which is player, which have all the fields. This is what actually our application is. So that is, as it is a standalone, when I run it, so it will be given here all the details. So like I just made it here 9, so it's given list of players not implemented for case something happened. One second, let me just cross verify my database. PID, age, contact, date of birth, email, gender, name, scope, email. Just referring to some different database. It's okay. So that is it. It is normally working as a simple Java application. Yes, I have just changed some data types. What was happening here? Failed to convert internal representation. Give me 1 minute. Yes, I imported a wrong project. Yeah. So it's a simple Java application where it is retrieving all our data and it is working properly. So where I want to convert now this existing project into a Spring project. So what we have to do it. So we will create it as a Maven project and we have to add all the dependencies which is required for us. Like I will first make a simple Maven project.
Can you use Gradle?
Okay.
All our projects and Gradle, so it will be easier to follow.
Yeah, okay, sure. So Gradle project and then I'll make it here Spring Player. So then we have to take the first step is we have to get the dependencies. So that is let us first take the Spring dependencies. It's a madam. So this is a Gradle dependency which we are taking, and let me just go to my project. Okay, still it is creating. What's happening? Okay, let it first create the project. So what are all the steps we have to do it when you are making as a Spring project? So that is first you have to add the dependencies. So what are all the dependencies you required? So first we require a Spring core, then to work with the Spring configurations. So we require the dependencies which is called Spring context. These two libraries are required to work with the Spring, and then we have a modules which is Spring. Inside a Spring core itself, we have a four modules which is core module, beans module, context module, and Spring expression module. So to get to all the modules, we go with these dependencies. So after the Spring Core and Spring Context, if you are working with any database application, so that you require a Spring module which is called JDBC, which is to work with a Spring database connectivity. And if you want to work with a main method, it's okay. If you want to work with a web application, so that you require a Spring Web Libraries. So which is in the Spring Web Libraries, you will have Spring Web WebMVC. So that library should be added for you. So this libraries are required. And with this, what is the database library which you are using? So if you are working on Oracle or MySQL, so what is the database you want to use it? So based on that, that database dependence is also required. So these libraries are required for us. Currently, we are not making as a web application, so we require now these dependencies for a Spring core project. We required it.
Why do you need the Oracle MySQL dependencies for the Spring project?
And not for the Spring project. Like in our current project, this project is interacting with respect to the database, so that's why we require a library.
Okay, that is not a Spring library.
That is not a Spring library.
After specifying Spring code, do you need to give the Spring context as well?
Sorry.
After specifying the Spring core dependency, do you want to specify Spring context as well? Like, is it necessary?
Spring context, yes. Spring context should be mandatory because in the Spring core module, you will have all the four modules should be taken care. No, if you added Spring context, other three modules also will be imported. If you give only Spring core will be taken. So here we will add the dependencies. So what are the project and external dependencies here? Oh, still it is not builded a project for Spring context. Okay, I guess Gradle still is downloading the dependencies. I'm just refreshing, so let it reload the dependencies. So within the time, I'll just copy my entire code into my new project. Yeah. So I just added all the dependencies which is required for me with a Spring context. So now Spring AOP, Spring Beans, Spring Expression, Spring Core, and Spring Context also given here. Okay, if I use only Spring Core here, let me just again update my project. We'll go and refresh Gradle project. So when you see, when we added only Spring Core module, you can see here it has only added the Spring Core dependency. But we require all the modules which is required in the Spring Core. So for that itself, we will add the Spring Context. So Spring Context will add all the four libraries which is required for the core modules to work on. So let me just again do the refresh Gradle project. Yeah. So the libraries are as added here now. You can see Spring Context, Spring AOP, Spring Beans, Expression, and the Spring Core. All these libraries are given. So let me just go here, which is our main method. Okay. So as it is our application, but we want to convert into a Spring application. So how will you make it as a Spring application now? So that is, we have to load all our configurations. That is, we have to make first all our applications as a Spring code. So how will you make it? So first we have to create the configuration file, either XML way or Java way, like as yesterday we discussed. So that is, I'm making here app config. This is the configuration file I'm keeping inside of the package com.training.config. And how will we make it's a configuration class? So that we will mention the annotation, which is configuration annotation. So then where all my components are there, I have to scan it. So we are mentioning here component scan. So what is the base package? Either you can mention all the code, like all the packages one by one, or you can point into the base package. Com.training is a base package. Under that you have a DAOs, you have a services, all these things. So that's what the app config we have written. So then let me just go to player DAO implementation, and we'll make here, it is also a component, but it is doing a database job. So that's what I'll make it repository annotation, because repository is a stereotype annotation with the Spring that will inform, okay, it is doing the database job. So then we want to go with a Pojo. So it's a simple component. So as we are not using any entity layer, so I'll make this as a component. And in the Bevo implementation, so it is doing the job of business logic. So we will make it this as a service layer. And when you go here, so we no need to create the object by ourselves. We can inject it. We can auto wire it. So that is as discussed. So that is we are making here auto wire. So now this player Bevo is injected here. That is player Bevo. Whenever the player Bevo object you will be get it, so you will get the player Devo object also. So that is a change which we have done. Then when you go to the main method, So that is, we have to load our code into the in the Spring container. So that what we will do it, we'll load it here, application context equals new. As we are going with Java based configuration, so we'll use it annotation config application context, and we have to load the configuration class, which is appconfig.class. That is a class which we have loaded, so that we should not create the object for us. So that is, we should ask the Spring to give the object for us. So that's what we'll do it. Like here, instead of we creating an object, we have to ask here the context dot get bean. So what is the type of a bean? Which is player player bevo dot class. So that's what we made it here. So instead of we constructing or creating the object, we are getting the object from the Spring container. So that's what the change which we have done. So after the change, so let me run again this player application. So you can see here now it is first loading into the Spring. First it is loading into the Spring and then it is running. But as a Spring container, so it is saying class not found, deep found error, which is Oracle JDBC Oracle driver. So that is, we don't have the Oracle dependency. We added only the Spring core dependencies, but we have not added the Oracle dependency for our Gradle. So that we have to get it now. OJDBC 6. So here, this dependency we have to add it. This is for MySQL, sorry, Oracle. But as if you seen the documentation, Oracle, we can't add it directly because it is not available in the Maven repository. This artifact is located in the third party. So this is the repository which we have to add it. So there will be a one tag in the Gradle build.gradle, so that we have to add it here. So this is the library or the repositories which we are going to add. Where is this gcenter? It's treating as a comments. Yes, it is treating as a comments.
You should give us, you should specify URL high space
Sorry.
to, you should specify it as URL space, high space in quotes you can try use, in single quotes, URL space single quotes.
To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 399 plan and grow your skills immensely.
Or single quote maybe like.
Familiar with the Gradle, that's it.
Yeah. No hyphen. space, like the one, like how we specify the ID and all, in single quotes maybe instead of double quotes.
Let's make sure the next line.
Put that URL inside the Maven curly braces.
Sorry.
Say Maven, open curly braces, and then inside that you put the URL. Not there, there only, inside the repository only.
This is not a Maven repository, right?
It is Gradle, no?
It's but it says Maven third party, right? So probably it's part of the Maven repository. Yeah.
No, it is not. Okay, let me add the jar file separately. Okay. So that is, it is loading into the Spring container and working as it is of your previous project. So what is the change which we have done? Instead of we creating the object, we loaded all our code into the Spring container and we are going. So that's what here the first change we have done. But when you see here, we made it only as a Spring Core project. That is, Spring Core features we have added. But when you go with the Spring layer, so that is Spring other layers, we have a Spring JDBC that is to taken care of database operations. So that is, if you see in our code, we have one Pojo which is called player, which have around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Around 9 parameters we have. So whenever we do any Devo implementation, each and every one, we have to map manually. We have to manually map it. That is what is the results that we are getting and that we are setting to each and every object. Thus manually, which we are doing this. So, but we should not go with this. So that is, and we have to enable the connection pooling with the Spring JDBC. So that is, Spring JDBC has a feature which is it will enable the uh, what we see. So it enables the connection pooling and it reduce lot of your JDBC boilerplate code. So that is, it will taken care of all this mappings, what the mapping which you want to do it. So how this one will be taken care here. So that's what the Spring JDBC module, we will check it out. So we don't go with a dbutil to establish a database connection. We don't write this code. So because there is a one specific person is there to establish a connection and to taking care of connection pooling. So that is, there are predefined classes are there to establish a connection, which is there is a one bean called driver manager data source, which is a one bean class to establish a database connection. So if you want to do with the connection pooling, you want to enable the connection pooling so that your connection will be taken care properly with the list pool of connections to be captured, so that we have a different connection poolings to be taken care, which is of CCP0, or we have a uh, different type of a connection pooling tools are available with respect to the market. So that is, either you can go with the driver manager data source, which will not taken care of the connection pooling, but which is also to establish a connection between your Spring and the database. So that is with the connection pooling of Spring. So where you have some other connection pooling tools, which is CCP 0, or we can CCP 3 is there. We have Hikari data source. So there are, but CCP03, which we have to maintain it, but Hikari data source is well and good. It's properly working, and there is a lot of communities also helping us to solve if any errors are there. And Spring Boot internally configure the Hikari data source. If you write a Spring Boot coding, so then it automatically taken care of the Hikari data source only. So we no need to configure any of our data source. So now if you want to work with the Spring JDBC, first we have to add the Spring JDBC dependencies. So let me just take a Spring JDBC. I'm just using their 4. So here also I'll use the same version. So now we have to taken care of the database connection. So that is, which is a predefined class called driver manager data source. But how this bean will be configured? See, if it is your own bean, you will enable with a component. So component scan will be taken care. But here it is not our own database. So it's not our class. So that is, we have to write our code to taken care of the driver manager data source or Hikari data source, anything which you want to take in care, which bean should be written. So that is, as it is a user defined, or it's a predefined class. So that is where we done the configuration. Here we have to write a bean which is responsible to establish a connection, which is public driver manager data source. I'm writing a name which is get data source, the method name. So because it is expecting the return as a data source object. So that we have to create the driver manager data source object. And this becomes a bean. This is a predefined bean which is available. And we have to return this bean, which is the written data source. So where this bean is available, so it's available in the Spring framework of JDBC. So where the database properties are for, which is driver, user, username, password, and the URL. So like if you go here in the DB util, what the configuration we have. So this is the driver class name. So that we have to set all these values. So when you go to the driver manager data source, we have a setter methods to set the value. Either we go with a constructor setting or setter method. So you can see set driver class name. set data source dot set URL, set username, and then we have a password. So username and password is system and system only. This is my URL for my database to connect it.
What does @bin annotation does?
It will be creating the object for this. Like instead of component annotation, like yesterday we discussed about the three ways of different configuration, right? Either you do it in the XML by using a bean tag, or in the class we will make it as a component annotation. Like where was yesterday code? Like you want to create the employee object so that you will make it as an employee bean. Like this one. We are creating the object for this class.
Okay.
So now we wanted for the database connection should be established. For that in the Spring JDBC, we have a driver manager data source. So
We're
here
anyways
now
doing
we,
a new, sorry.
sorry.
We're anyways
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
a new driver managed data source, right? So, with or without @bin, it will work, is it? Or it won't work?
No,
Or
we
like if
have
I
to make
mention @bin,
@bin is a mandatory. When you return @bin, then only it will create the object. The application context will create the object. Else, we have to inject this object now. So like, let me just delete this. So now I'm not going with respect to the normal Java coding. I'm going with the Spring JDBC, right? So in the
yeah.
player DAO implementation, first I have to establish a connection. So how will I establish a connection? Now I don't want to get the dbutil get connection or connection object. We should not use it because we are working with respect to the data source. Now that data source we have to inject it here. How will you inject that data source here? So that is for this data source we have one more being called JDBC template to reduce your development effort. So let me take here JDBC template. So if you see here, JDBC template is taking a constructor parameterized and without parameterized also. Either you do with a constructor way of injecting or set a way of injecting. Like JDBC template object will be created. Let me return the JDBC template. But for which database you want to writing this JDBC template? So that is you have to use it here. What is the setter method for this? That is set data source. So set data source which will be injected here. So this driver manager data source, this data source is injected to the JDBC template. Whenever you want to injecting, first it should be a type of bean. Then only I can do the injecting. Else I will get here the exception. You don't have any bean which is called get data source. If it is a bean, then only I can set the value. Correct? Like yesterday we got some errors like no bean definition present. So then the same
Okay.
exception here also we will get it without @bean.
Okay.
So is it clear? Shall I continue?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Yeah. So then in the
These are
player,
created as these beans are created as singleton or prototype.
yes, by default singleton. Yes.
Okay.
So if you want the prototype as a scope as a prototype, you can mention here what is the prototype or what is the scope you want to give it. Like is it for each request you want one JDBC template should be created or for each object. So like that you can give a scope here. Then when I come to here now, Diego, so we are manually mapping one by one column. So that is whatever the results that we are getting, and we are mapping with this the data which we have it. So this manually we are doing, but now we don't want to write our SQL like we no need to write like this. So because we already written the JDBC template, so that we do here the auto wiring of JDBC template. So that is here. JDBC template. So that is, let me just go to any method. Just I will just take get all method. Yeah. So that is here we are mapping one by one. So how we will be doing here with respect to our JDBC template. So this much code is does not require to write it. So then how will you write it here? So that is first let me create one query, because query is common here, which is select start from player. So how we will execute this query with your database? So that is, we have to get it here, JDBC template dot. So we have the list of objects. So that is, either you can write a query. So you can see the query methods take a different parameters. So which is, I'm interested with this. The SQL, what is the query which we are sending? That is a query. Second one is, what is a row mapper? A row mapper is, it will map your each row into one object. Like what here we are doing, it will be taken care by the row mapper. So instead of writing this many number of time, what we like, I have a 10 methods. For all the 10 methods, I've done this. That is, every time I have to configure it, each and every object to record. So that instead of this, we can create our own class and we can implement our own row mapper, like player row mapper, and can fit this code only one time. That is also one of the solution we can do it. Or else we have other solution. The Spring have one property called, or one class called, bean property row mapper. Bean property row mapper. It will ask which class you want to map it. So that is, I want to map it with player. So I want to map it with the player. So that is, I'm just returning here. It's written JDBC template of query and query new bean property row mapper. See, whatever the code you have written, around 258 lines of, around 20 lines of code is converted into only a 2 lines of code. So that's the simplicity which given by the Spring JDBC. What this bean property row mapper will do, it will map your results of a table into what is the class which you have it. So each column will be mapped to one property. So one record will be mapped to one object. What we have written here, inside of a while loop, we created our own object and we added one by one object to the list and we written. So that is replaced with this code now. So are you clear with this lines of a code?
Yeah. In this case, the column number and all should not mismatch, right? The number of columns present in the DB and the number of fields present in the Pojo.
No,
Is
it
it
will be,
okay?
no, it will match according to whatever the data which is present. It will take it as an object. It will take
If
a
you
one
have
object.
more number of columns in the table, is it fine? Will it map properly or
Uh,
not?
in that case, it will not map. So that's where when you have a difference, we will go with a ORM tool. So we will take a object relational mapper. So that is, we will, in whatever the table will have, we will create the entity classes for it and we'll do the mapping. but JDBC does not do mapping.
Okay. Then
Or
here,
we
based on the column names, it does the mapping, right?
yes.
When
So
being
either
property map.
yeah, if you want your own mapper also, we can create it. Like as you said, I have a different classes in the table. Like I have a different columns in the table and in the different properties in my class. So what we can do it, we can create our own row mapper itself. Like let me just show it to you here. I'll create my own class as player mapper, which implements a row mapper. Row mapper is a interface.
Oh,
So here we'll mention it for which entity we want it, means for which class you are mapping, which have a method here. The row mapper have a method called maprow, so that uh, maprow we have to take it. So it will take a result set here, which is RS and what is the row number. It will be sent one by one row number. So whatever in the player DAO implementation you have written this.
okay.
So that is this you have to write it here.
It's actually column number, right? Is it a row number?
Yes, row number is
First.
column number. No, no, no,
Okay.
no. Row number is how many number of rows are present. Your result set is taking what?
Okay. Like if
So
we
that
have 10 records, 10 will be returned.
so that you will be taking here the like player object should be created and you have to return here the P1. So that is let me just go here and copy the first one. So that this object we can make it here. Let me just remove. Yeah. So then this player mapper object we have to use it here. This is instead of a row property row mapper, we can write it here the player mapper. This is your own mapping which you are doing. So like if you have extra fields or you want to configure it your own, so go with this approach. As you already have the code which you want to map it, so we can directly take a bean property row mapper. So for that we have used here the query method. So this is what here the code reduce. So that is same way here you want to get by score. So that is what is the code I have written. Let me just copy the same two lines of code. But my condition here, I have to pass the where score is. So that is as we are going with the prepared statement. So because write query once, run many times, compile once, run many times. That is a prepared statement. So that is here, how will you go with this now? So that is the score value also should be configured here. So that is we can use here the method. So that is we can pass here what is the score which you want to configure. So like this, we'll write the conditions to be taken care for each property. So let me just go to one by one. But here we should not write a query because it is expecting only one object. When you are expecting only one object, we'll write here query for object. So if you are having more than one, when it is list, then it will become a query for list, or directly we can use query itself. But where you are getting multiple, so that it should be go with a query for object. Like where we write here name. Am I audible?
Yeah.
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 No, suddenly I got completely silence, so I asked.
This is what is called JPA template, is it? No,
No, it is
that is
JDBC
different.
template. Yeah.
Okay.
After this, I'll introduce a Hibernate, then JPA I'll introduce.
Okay.
I'll just comment all those things instead of going with all the code. So that is here. All the retrievals we have written here. So where I want to add it, so or I want to do the insertion job. So how we will do the insertion job? So the same way here, what is our insert statement? You can write the insert statement as like your code is already present. So that is here JDBC template, which for DML operations to be done, we have a method which is called update. We have a update method. So where it will take your SQL, and after that, how many number of question marks you have, for each question mark, you have to set the value here, which is p dot, first one is get PID, then p dot get name, p dot get, yes, 1 second. Yes, here I have the JDBC template dot update method. So in the update method, after the SQL what we have passed, so we have to give here according to the order. So we get ID.
If I mess up with the order, then does it do some validations or does it fail or it just run
If it is
insults whatever?
data type is, yeah, data type is same, then it does not do anything. If data type
Uh-huh.
mismatch is there, yes, it will not work.
Okay.
Email, then p dot get team name. But date of birth, I have it as a util date and we have to convert it as a SQL date. So that's what here I just converted.
Please enroll our general membership for $3.99 plan to get access of all the parts.
Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the $3.99 plan, and grow your skills immensely. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.